This is wake up call number 8, world community. The world wants the prize. They want to destroy us. They want to conquer us. They want to integrate us, and they want to change us. What are we supposed to do about it? That's the world community we live in. We live in a dangerous neighborhood, folks. Let's take a closer look at what these people are after. We first have to look at the neighborhood with regard to secret societies. And there are secret groups that meet, extremely secret. And there are enemies that would like nothing more than to blow us up, or to integrate us, or to change us, or to ruin us, or to destroy us. This is a very, very dangerous neighborhood, folks. And the purpose of this wake-up call is to let you know and remind you that we live in a dangerous neighborhood. All right, so let's look closer here. Let's first look at the secret societies. Knights of Columbus, Knights Templar, Freemasons, and other secret societies. Let me begin by saying that I'm sure that you know somebody, or maybe yourself, as a member of some of these organizations. I'm not bad-mouthing the organizations necessarily. I wish you the very best. I wish you well. But you are secret organizations, and you do secret things. And there's a reason for that secrecy. And one of the reasons is that it affects us. I heard a gentleman from one of these organizations the other day on television tell the entire nation that they wanted a better world, and it's their goal to make a better world and make America fit into the world better. Well, hey, I guess we'd all want something like that, but wait a minute. It's not their job. And if it is their job, it's certainly not a secret job. You don't have to meet behind closed doors and do sacred rituals and strange things and never tell anybody about what you do and then come out and say how you're going to change us. That's not your job, and that's not going to happen. So we first have to identify that there are secret groups out there that think they're doing good. In fact, most of these people we talk about today think they're doing okay, think they're being wise, and think they're helping us by changing us. Well, I don't think so. But let's look a little bit closer at secret societies. There are a lot of them. Knights of Columbus, Knights Templar, Freemasons, Skull and Crossbones. You remember George Bush went to Yale and got in the Skull and Crossbones. Couldn't tell anybody what it was. Couldn't tell anybody what he agreed to or who his friends were or what they did, but he was in the Skull and Crossbones. There's also religious secret organizations, like, for example, the Scientology people that can't tell anybody what they read or what they believe or who they are and anything. It's illegal. They get sued and they get ostracized for even just mentioning anything. Well, as I said before, it's a free country, and they have every right in the world to get together and talk about secret things. Some of these groups, they have secret handshakes, and they do secret favors. If you're in that group, you give a secret handshake, you're obligated to do whatever that person asks. And these are not just everyday people on the street. These are CEOs, and these are political leaders and judges and stuff. You get this secret handshake, and you feel obligated to do what the person says. Thank goodness. Kind of complicates our free country, doesn't it? But so we need to be aware of that. That's all. Let's be aware that these secret societies are trying to help us, trying to plan us our future, and we don't need them. We don't need them to do. If they want to go do secret things in secret places with secret rituals, and secret clothes and secret undergarments and all this good stuff, go ahead and do it. But don't go planning my life in those secret chambers. Please, please don't do that. Now, if we look at the enemy list, it's the other side of the neighborhood. We got North Korea and Russia and Iran and China. Those are some bad dudes. Hey, North Korea, they're so isolated that the thought of launching an atomic intercontinental ballistic missile, which they have, by the way, is no big deal. So it kills a couple million people. They couldn't care less. They don't even know who lives outside their country. They're so totally isolated. They're dangerous. We've got to watch them. Russia, we all know that they're not nearly as strong as they think they are, but they do have probably just almost as many nuclear weapons as we do. And their capabilities are not as great as ours because they're not as rich as we are, or at least as rich as we were. But they still want to dominate the world. If they had an opportunity and the door was open and we had bad leadership here and they could take advantage, they would do it in a skinny minute. And Iran, death to America, that's their biggie. But first Israel, they want to totally flatten Israel so that there is nothing left alive in that sacred country. And then after that, they want to flatten us. It's pure hate. It's pure hate. And they are planning to do exactly that. The Chinese communists, brilliant 10-year, 20-year plan to take over the entire world. And they're doing it. They're following all of their goals. They're checking their checklist. They're going into African countries and installing this very costly communications equipment so everybody gets internet. And the countries sign over their natural resources, all their mineral rights and their oil contracts and whatever else they want. And they're signing security pacts so that they are allies now of Red China. They're very dangerous. They know what they want and they're going to get it. Very dangerous neighborhood. We also have a bunch of folks that's not really a nation yet. They'd like to be a nation. They want a caliphate. They want an Islamic nation called a caliphate with Sharia law. And they're willing to kill and destroy anything in their path to get it. Better keep an eye on them. Okay, we talked about the secret societies up here. We talked about the dangerous enemies we have down here. What about these guys? This is in Europe once a year, in the Netherlands and France and so on and so forth. And this is in San Francisco once a year. They're both secret, totally secret. This is 2,700 acres of secure, restricted woods that you can't even enter the woods, let alone get near the building. Same with Bilderberg. It's not nearly as big as 2,700 acres, but the police and the electronic surveillance is impregnable. One cannot even get near, and if they do get near, they get found out immediately. And you can't obviously say what goes on in these meetings. Now they do, both of them publish a list, an agenda of what they would like us to know that they're talking about. A couple problems with that. One is they don't really have to keep to that agenda unless they want to. And if they change it, they don't have any commitment to tell us about it. And the second thing about it is they have, the dangerous thing is the side meetings. They have these special groups that only certain people get together in side rooms for specific plans, specific military plans, specific economic plans, specific political plans, and that kind of thing. Even to try to change an election of an elected individual to change the course of a country. That would be a possibility of what they may talk about in those side meetings that nobody will ever know. Nobody. Bilderbergs and the Bohemian Grove. Let's take a closer look. Let's first look at the Bilderbergs. These are the members of the steering committee currently and in the past couple of years. Prince Bernhard of the Netherlands. My goodness, who in the heck is he? Alec Douglas Home, Baron Home of Hersel from the UK. Walter Scheel from Germany. Carrington, 6th Baron Carrington from the UK. And Davigon, Viscount Davigon from Belgium. These are royal families. These are bigwigs. These are people that you never see on the street, and they certainly never see you on the street. But they think they know everything there is to know. And they're running the Bilderbergs. Let me say that again. They're running the Bilderbergs. This elite group of royals think that they know what is best. Well, here's a list of the kind of people that attended the Bilderberg meeting from 2019. 98% of them are listed below. The other 2% were smaller European countries that just had one representative. But we have 32 representatives from the U.S., which is more than any other country in the meeting. 32. That means 32 private jets get flown to the Netherlands or to France, wherever the meeting happens to be, to discuss global warming for other things. It's interesting. 14 representatives from the UK, 8 from Germany and 8 from France, 6 from Netherlands, 6 from Switzerland, 5 from Turkey, which is there because it is a NATO member, and 4 representatives from Spain and Norway and Sweden. The official reason for this meeting is that they are trying to become one group of people across the Atlantic. They want to bring European Union and England and the UK and Canada and North America. They want to bring us like one big happy family. That's their goal. That's what they're working for. They'd like to make a one world order, but they'd like to start with the friends across the Atlantic. It's a noble goal. You know, you have to admit to that. Let's look at who's going here. This is a random list of people from the United States that attend Bilderberg. Jared Kushner in 2019 from the White House. Washington Post representative, columnist. NBC News analyst. Bloomberg editor-in-chief. Microsoft CEO. National Security Council senior director. And co-chairman emeritus of the Council on Foreign Relations. By the way, these are the guys that are advocating total open borders and total flooding of everybody from all other nations into our country. And Alphabet, which is Apple. So we got Microsoft and Apple, and I haven't seen the list for 2020, but my guess is that added to Apple and Microsoft probably is Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and other, and maybe even Google. Why would I guess that be the case? Well, it appears to me that they are controlling some kind of narrative out of this meeting, and that they're coordinating with the Washington Post, NBC News, to be able to say certain things about what we should believe and what we think is important and not important, and they're trying to train us and teach us to become members of a one world government. That's my guess. Now, this is a quote by a group founder, and he said, he says, to say that we're striving for a one world government is an exaggeration, but it's wholly, but not totally unfair, meaning that they really would like to see a one world government. And the reason is because we couldn't go on forever fighting one another for nothing and killing people and rendering millions homeless. So we felt that a single community throughout the world would be a good thing. So bless their hearts. They're getting together, figuring out how we can become a member of this world community. They're figuring out what we need to do, what our economy needs to look like, who our president should be. Wow. It's very nice of them, isn't it? Okay. Now the Bohemian Grove. The Bohemian Grove is a product of the United States, but they come from all over the world. And it's held mid-July every year. This is a picture from 1967, Reagan and Nixon. And they meet for 2 weeks in encampments. There's different cabins that they stay in. And you can get certain groups, certain family groups can meet in a group of cabins all by themselves and then get together in one big dinner later on and that kind of stuff. The Bohemians Club, which is an all-male membership, puts on this event every year. And it includes artists and musicians. And also coming and attending are many prominent business leaders, government officials, former U.S. presidents, and so on and so forth. One of the things that the club does, the Bohemian Club, they put on an entertainment. There's a huge wooden owl that is prominent on the Bohemian Grove, and these dramatic presenters come out and they do a cremation of care for the attendees. It's performed by the members of the Bohemian Club, and it's staged in the first part of the encampment. And in fact, it's the first night of the annual encampment. And the purpose of it is to banish worldly cares. They're burning up the worldly cares of the attendees and to present symbolically the salvation of the trees. But they are criticized, and rightly so, because we don't know what they do. We don't know about the side meetings and the secrets that they never tell anybody. We certainly don't know what they've decided to do to us and how to do it to us. Are they going to change us? Are they going to hurt our economy? Are they going to mess with our elections? What are they going to do? Well, they got a plan. They got a plan, that's for sure. Well, what should we do? Well, the first thing is we need to not pay any attention to the secret societies. How about that? That'd be one thing. These secret societies there's a lot of good people, and there's a lot of good organizations that do good things. St. Jude's is a good example. That's an outward reach of a secret organization, and it does a lot of good things. So I'm not saying that these are bad. I'm simply saying that if they have to go into secret chambers and do secret rituals that date back to the early Egyptians' praise of the sun god, well then, hey, you probably shouldn't be telling us how to run our business. So, we wish them well, but hey, keep in your own secret area. We don't need you to tell us how to run our area. And we need to know that what's going on in Bohemian Grove. We need to know who attended it, so we know when Joe Blow comes back from there and suggests that he has come up with a new law, we have an idea where it may have come from. So, and the same with Bilderberg. Those 32 members, including the head of Apple and the head of Microsoft, go to Bilderberg and come up with some ideas, as well as NBC News and Bloomberg and others, and they start printing these things about world governments. And so we have an idea where they got that stuff. So we're aware. So we can just kind of mentally cross that off. We can say, yeah, we know about that. We know about that. As far as our enemies are concerned, this is what we need to do to them. We need to keep them locked up. And the only way we can do that is to have a good leader, a respected leader, a smart leader, and have a good military, with great power and great respect. And if we're lucky, we'll keep them in cages and we'll keep peace in the world. But that is our business. So we know about these. We're aware of them. We can limit on what we believe and what we agree to when they start talking to us. And we know how important the military is, and we know how important it is to have a leader that is respected and smart and strategic. So here's the deal. Here's the deal. Here comes the punchline. America first. Let's do whatever America needs to become first. Whatever America needs with regard to economy, with regard to the military, with regard to education, with regard to healthcare. America first. America is what counts. Europe doesn't count. The Bilderbergs don't count. The royal families of Europe in our book don't count. America counts. Join with me, and I believe that America needs to be put first above all oncomers in our neighborhood. God bless.